What if the forest around you could hear your every secret? What if it knew things about you that no one else could know? What if it wanted revenge for the darkest of your sins? This is the story of a group of friends who learned that there are some secrets the forest is too eager to reveal. And once it knows, there's no escaping the consequences. Stay with me as I take you through this haunting journey, where the forest's thirst for vengeance will change everything. And remember, this tale doesn't end the way you think it will. Welcome to Mr. Creep's Nightmare, where chilling tales of the unknown come to life. Tonight, we explore the terrifying tale of how a group of friends unknowingly entered a forest that knew their secrets, and how the forest was about to make them pay. This is not just a story of fear. It's a story of regret, revenge, and the consequences of secrets. Trust me, the twist at the end will make you rethink everything about the place you call home. Jake, a once promising athlete who now hides in his memories, feeling the weight of guilt after a tragic accident that left his family shattered. His demons are locked away, but the forest will force him to confront them. Emma, a kind-hearted woman who's tried to move on after a betrayal she committed years ago. She buried her remorse, but the forest is about to dig it up. Olivia, she is a quiet, spiritual person who has always connected deeply to nature. She's the first to feel the forest's strange pull, and her awareness will make her realize too late that the forest has been waiting for them. Noah, a skeptic who never believed in legends. He dismisses all warnings, seeing everything as superstition. But the forest will change his perspective forever. They arrive at a small, secluded cabin at the edge of the forest, where the locals have warned them to stay out of the woods after dark. The warnings are cryptic, with elderly townsfolk whispering about a watcher, who guards the forest and punishes those who disturb its peace. Despite these warnings, the friends push forward, eager for adventure and unwilling to believe in the myths surrounding the forest. As they enter the forest, they're struck by its stillness. The sunlight barely filters through the thick canopy, and the temperature seems to drop with every step. The trees tower over them, their trunks covered in strange, unfamiliar markings. The deeper they go, the more the atmosphere shifts. The air grows thick and heavy as if the forest is watching their every move. As they walk deeper, Olivia notices a shift in the wind, something unnatural about it. The forest is alive, almost aware of their presence. She senses an ancient power, but the others shrug off her warning. They set up camp, and Noah, ever the skeptic, dismisses the strange markings on the trees as nothing more than random carvings. He jokes that the forest must be full of hippies or pranksters. Olivia, uneasy, feels the forest responding to their presence, but again no one listens. That night, strange things begin happening. Olivia wakes in the middle of the night, her skin tingling with a sense of being watched. Outside the tent, she hears faint whispers, like voices in the wind, speaking her name. When she steps outside, she sees fleeting shadows between the trees and distant figures moving just beyond her vision. She calls to the others, but when they wake, everything is silent again. Only the trees respond, creaking and groaning, almost in response to their unease. The group dismisses the events as a product of the wilderness, too much isolation and too little sleep. But as they continued their hike the next day, they started hearing strange sounds. Footsteps but not their own, leaves rustling but not by the wind, an eerie rhythm that matched their steps. As the forest closes in on them, they realize they can't escape the same path. They always end up at the same tree, rock, and clearing. The forest has trapped them and now it's watching. That night the dreams start. Vivid, haunting visions play on each person's deepest fears and regrets. The dreams are impossibly real. They can smell the air, feel the cold, and hear the whispers. Jake dreams of his dead family, his parents and sister, all killed in the accident he caused. They stand in front of him, angry, accusing him, calling him a murderer. Their voices echo in the forest's darkness, and he wakes up in a cold sweat, the echoes still in his ears. Emma dreams of the betrayal she committed years ago. She sees the face of the person she abandoned, crying out for forgiveness. The guilt eats at her, and in the dream she apologizes, but the person refuses to listen, turning away. Noah dreams of the friends he left behind when he moved away, how he chose ambition over them. They are angry with him, haunting him in the shadows, their faces twisted in disappointment. He tries to run, but he can't escape their stare. Olivia's dream is the most disturbing. She is standing in the middle of a vast, empty forest, surrounded by trees that seem to whisper her name. They speak of her ancestors and the bloodline she has inherited, telling her that the forest has claimed her soul. When they wake, their dreams are no longer just dreams. They begin to feel like the forest is inside them, knowing their thoughts, regrets, and desires. The trees move closer at night, their branches reaching out as though trying to touch them. Olivia tries to leave, but when she turns back, she sees a shadow watching her behind a tree. The figure is tall, but the branches hide its face. She can't shake the feeling that they're being followed, constantly watched by something unseen. The group becomes more disoriented as the days blur together. Time no longer feels consistent, and they can't tell if it's day or night anymore. They wander the woods, growing weaker and more paranoid, but they always end up back in the same spot, as if the forest is pulling them toward it. They come across an ancient stone circle deep in the woods, with symbols carved into the stones. Symbols that match the markings on the trees. Olivia's fears heighten when she recognizes these symbols as a form of ancient protection meant to keep something locked away. The forest reveals its true nature now. The Watcher is no mere legend. It is an ancient entity that lives within the trees, feeding off secrets and the suffering of those who trespass. And the forest doesn't just keep secrets, it hunts them. The Watcher manifests as a towering figure made entirely of shadows and branches. It moves silently, but the forest groans as if it is alive. Its eyes are glowing orbs that pierce the darkness, and it speaks with the voices of the dead, each voice filled with anger, guilt, and sorrow. "You've entered my domain," the Watcher says, its voice a twisted mixture of all the voices of the forest. "And now you must answer for the secrets you've hidden." The group tries to escape, but the forest is alive in ways they can't comprehend. The trees close around them, and the ground seems to shift beneath their feet. Every step they take brings them closer to their doom, and the forest forces them to confront their darkest sins. In the final confrontation, each group member faces the manifestation of their guilt. Jake is forced to relive the crash that took his family, seeing the wreckage in the forest and hearing their screams. Emma faces the person she betrayed, whose ghost reaches out with empty hands. Noah stands before the friends he abandoned, their eyes full of judgment. Olivia, alone, faces the Watcher, the embodiment of the forest's anger and her bloodline's curse. In the final act of desperation, Jake sacrifices himself to save the others, choosing to remain in the forest, his body becoming part of the earth. As his last breath leaves his body, the forest grows silent. Olivia, Emma, and Noah leave the forest, but the damage has been done. They are haunted by what they've seen, heard, and felt. The Watcher's presence lingers even in the real world. The forest might have let them go, but it will never be forgotten. What would you do if the forest knew your darkest secrets? Let me know in the comments. Could you ever escape the forest's grip once it's found you? Share your thoughts below.